Good evening. I hope everybody well fed. I need you guys to wake up with me because it's going to be a very short and a very long presentation in the same time. I am here back after MENA 2, and we had a collaboration with Dr. Fergani from our department in Faculty of Agriculture. We started on the setting for the workshop for the fabrication and classification of journalism, and it was held in our beautiful Faculty of Agriculture at Charles University. We hope everybody can come and visit us. We had outlines. I just wanted to present everything with pictures instead of like putting a lot of talking, since I'm talkative very well. So I speak, and nobody stops me, so please stop me if I stop.
Just kidding.
So this is our outlines. This is our first thing, the announcement for the workshop. We had it for like 10 days or 9 days for people to participate. We distributed through social networking and through emails with our collaborators from, I didn't introduce you, I will. Okay. With our collaborator from the Manhoor University and NRC. We had our form on Google document, and we presented it. We had target people with master and PhD students, but unfortunately we did get some older category or more experienced groups, which I think it was fruitful by the end. And besides that, we asked for some specific questions in the form. We asked to have, did you have a background about that? Did you hear about this issue before? Did you attend some workshops like that? Because we had excluded some people that already attended this workshop before, but we had asked another questions like, would you experience something like that? Did you have anything in mind that you were expecting us by the end of the workshop for you to learn? We, of course, we had a trouble with submission because we had a lot of people submitting, but in the same times we had people that were going through exams, international meetings, so we had plan B to contact the other people on the waiting list, but by the end we got 7 or 8 participants only. And we sent the invitations out, of course. It was designed to be 2 days, 4 facilitators, the 8 attendees by the end. We had 5 females and only 2 males. It wasn't our choice, but we're security, so what we can do. We have different disciplines of science. As I was pointing out here, we had people from microbiology, genetics, physiology, soil research, and bacteriology and photochemistry. But the interesting thing with this, like the one talked before me in South Valley, we had somebody from social science, so it was interesting to share their experience with us. We had the invitations, of course. This is the thing that we put in the booklet that we gave it to our attendants. We had a name tag and a notebook that has stuff in it. The thing that I neglected to say in the beginning, and I'm so sorry for that, we had this logo designed by Dr. Ahmed Hilal. We had some negotiation around the colors and the idea, but he said that since we're talking about plagiarism, we have to say it's correct versus incorrect. It's false against right. So we had this too printed out on our thing. This is okay. Pointer? No pointer. I turn it on. This one here, if I may say that we always have the bad guy and the good guy within us all the time. So we think about, would we do it? If we get caught, what's going to happen? If we didn't get caught, we'll be really happy to have it. So we had it in our things, and we handed them like some flashcards and some numbers. We had them with all the contact information of our colleague that were presenting, and at the same time, their colleague that were attending with them, so we can spread the networking between them. We had our agenda, of course, too. This is our team. Dr. Fergani couldn't come today to present the presentation, so I took the liberty to come instead of him. And we have Dr. Ahmed Hilal from the Manhoor University, Faculty of Agriculture, Food Science. And we have Dr. Reha Fawzi from National Research Center. Which department? Pharmacology. Just kidding, I know. We had our module framework, and we had to give them some ideas in the beginning about how we're going to start with the pre-assessment, and which is really why it's important for us to present the pre-assessment that can give them on the first step to try to do the same exact thing with their students. The people that we had there, we had some from the institutions and some from universities. So Dr. Faham couldn't know what to do with the people that from the institutions. Are they teaching people or advising people? So we had first thing, it was really difficult to find something that can stimulate them. So we searched online to find some movies or something can correlate to what we're going to talk about. So I found this movie, a very nice movie, who is a very nice actor. It's talking about the plagiarism and how he took something like an old story and made it his own, and he played the game with it. After that, we started the pre-assessment. It was easy for them to start something like that, and we contact them about how we can be making difference if we saw the pre and post assessment. After that, we started with Dr. Rahab about speaking about plagiarism. We used some flashcards and some active learning to speak about the types of plagiarism, what plagiarism means, and how we can avoid it. We had some interactive things, and it was actually very nice that she produced or gave them something about some software that you can help them when they are reviewing students' work or something else. It can help them with detecting the plagiarism. At the same time, we had them doing some a poster, thank you. We had them doing some posters and presenting them. In the same time when we were doing that, I remembered Dr. Halili. He was my facilitator in MENA 2, and he was always, I was telling him, why can't you help us? It's just like, just give us something, just let us, like, lead us to this. And he's like, no, I'm supposed to provide you with information, and you lead it. So this is the act of a facilitator, not like, just tell him, do this or do that. You have to get out his creativity and the way that he's capable of expressing himself, since we don't have this free speech all the time to express. In the same time, Dr. Ahmed started with falsification and fabrication, complete a whole session for it. He used a lot of information. He was really decisive about saying some things I actually learned for the first time about retracking, and I know that if the paper detected for plagiarism, it can be rejected, but I didn't know that you can retrack it. And actually I had an experience with somebody the next day saying that, oh my God, they took my paper and they published it. I said to him, no, we're gonna retrack it if you file for it and if you fight for your rights. It was really nice for the people that contribute. We had to explain to them what's the meaning of active learning, what's the meaning of using flashcards or other types of using posters or expressing what they are saying. And the same time, there were a lot of questions, like he was really knowing what people here in the reunion asked us for the question that we should ask, so we can get the feedback right from the people or the attendee if they really got the idea. So what their motivation to do falsification and fabrication, what their cause, and they were really embracing us with a lot of things. Of course, we don't have the same great drawer that was artist that was drawing the first time, but he presented too with a lot of softwares and a lot of websites that people can go in and check it and see if they have case studies very similar to the one that they had. That was the summation of our first day, and in the same time, since we have only 7, that was a little bit frustrating that 4 people or 5 people didn't show up, but really the people were really eager to learn, and they were making us busy all the time working with them. So as we all know, like the best thing that we do is communication. So we did like a page, a closed group page from the beginning on the Facebook, and this is the website for it. And we posted all the pictures, and we posted some information, and we had some of the illustrated photos that we had, so we can encourage them to express more, or if they want to share anything with us. I gave them, by the end of the day, I told them, you know what, I need a homework. I need every one of you, if he had any experience with plagiarism, if he saw falsification, fabrication case, express it. So, of course, all of them wrote like in Arabic. So I had some, like the one I presented, some on the one that had in English, and I wrote one of in the Arabic one. Of course, like when we were talking to them, we were talking like generally, plagiarism, but we didn't take specific cases. So they told us about their specific cases. And some of them was on writing thesis, taking some part from other people. about taking pictures and Photoshop it. And the one in the middle was really interesting because we had a really interesting question. I didn't actually face it before. They asked, the one that working on social economic asked us about the surveys. How do you do the survey? If I went and spoke with farmers and they didn't tell me the truth, what am I going to do? Should I go back to the authority and ask them about the surveys? Should I falsificate it or fabricate it or plagiarize it from somebody else? So she wrote a case study that faced in Agricultural Research Center that they had already some of the assignments for effects of gases to change climate, and they totally took it, copy and paste from other organizations and put it without any fear even from what's going to happen next. After that, we had Dr. Ahmed again giving us a presentation about authorship, and he presented us with the very famous case of Shakespeare and how it's so now that he really didn't write any of his stories or plays. Besides that, I had a mentoring session by the end, and I presented some, I don't know if you guys heard about the Karate Kid, and it's a very famous movie. Like I usually show it to my kids and they like it. They like the messy mentor that can, like he's a rag but he can pull this boy out and he can make him feel he's in his country and give him confidence and provide him with everything despite his attitude. Of course, we had after that the role play session, the very favorite to me. I had to explain to them, this was the students of course, we had to have him as a student, and we had a mentor and we had a supervisor, and I was trying to explain to them, do your own scenario. Tell me how you are a mentor, a good mentor or a bad mentor, you are a good advisor or a bad advisor. So they started together, she started speaking to him as a mentor, she took the lead, and after that, she told him, you have to do this, you have to speak to your advisor like that. So he went and spoke to his advisor. She didn't like what he said. Things get really bad. So she said, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna come with you to her. So she was really offended. So we said, no, we have to set the stage first for the mentor. If he's gonna interfere with your life, the scientific life, you have to introduce yourself first. So we started again another scenario that she's introducing herself and she's helping the students in the same time. And after that, she's sitting with his advisor trying to pace the deal with him about choosing his titles. He was in the beginning. So he started having confidence a little bit for showing her what he collected. And after that, the mentor took the lead to leave him with the supervisor so he can communicate with her clearly. Of course, when we spoke about that, I said that a lot of people can think about the mentor as the one in the faculty, that as we know, or you can assign one in the faculty as they're in the States or something like that. But actually what happens is, and I remember this from Minato, Dr. Stess said, your mentor can be your friend, can be your kid, can be your father, can be your son's school teacher, can be anybody that can guide you without judging you, without, taking the liberty to criticize you unfairly or anything like that. By the end, we were asking ourselves, why did we plan the calendar like that? We were supposed to have only speak about falsification, fabrication, and plagiarism. Why did we speak about authorship? Why did we speak about mentoring? The problem is, we only say one title. That doesn't make us a good researcher, that doesn't make us a good advisor, that doesn't make us a nice mentor or a very good mentor. It has to be the three of them together. It has to be the whole complete picture. If you don't have a work ethics, you're going to plagiarize, you're going to be a bad advisor, and you're never going to be a good mentor. But at the same time, if you learn right, you're going to collect all that. And I took actually the liberty to taking this one. I think it was from MENA 2. It was about the case about how do mentoring and training in responsible science and conducting science have to have with the scientist's misbehavior. If he's well raised, has ethically a good ethical research manners, he can be a good mentor and he can be a good advisor in the same time. And of course, he's going to be a really nice one to collaborate with in any authorship period. Of course, we presented all these things and we put it downloaded on the Facebook for them to download it and see it. In the same time, we had a lot of collaboration with the students and activity with each other, a group discussion. We had all the activity that we can have with them to stimulate them and stimulate their thinking. It was really nice to have all of them with us speaking and interacting with us. I hope you didn't sleep because you're really quiet. Okay? By the end, of course, we had the post-assessment test, but it was a little bit of a problem because we had like different cases. We had two people, a really close friend, and most of them were like one master student and one PhD student. So the PhD usually doing mentoring for the master student, and we had two sisters. We had Maram and Manar, and both of them, like Manar was like the godmother of Maram, and she's guiding her all the time. So that's really shown in the opinions for the falsification and fabrication, and for the mentoring and the authorship. Of course, we had some differences, but by the same time, I don't know, really our hand were really full with these seven because they were all over the place, despite the boys, of course, was led by Dr. Ahmed. By the end, we had our ceremony, and we had some of the evaluation we had. I'm sorry about it's not showing so much, but we wanted some more case studies and how to deal with it. They wanted some more time because we exceeded the time way than we put, because everybody wanted to share their experience. They said that it was a really good and excellent teamwork, and it will organize a workshop. By the end, these are some of the pictures on the Facebook that we put for them, and the other three was like the contribution of the people in there. They started putting stuff for reference, for programs for detection journalism. The last one was like 2 days ago. One of the attendees voted for the mentoring and how you can be a mentor. Some of the recommendations, they asked for a meeting place like closer. Usually our university, our faculty located in Shubra Khema, which is really far for a lot of people. They had troubles because we had people coming from Sadat City, Fayoum, Tanta. Other thing, they were all asking how I can contribute, how I can go and take the same workshop or the same extensive Egypt 1 and Egypt 2 type of things, so I can do the same thing in my university. Other thing I would really like to do is, if we started all the time with the undergraduate and the postgraduate, we're missing a lot with the professors. And the professor usually, no offense to anybody, the professor usually doesn't like to be, the students know something that they don't know. Or of course, the students gonna show off what they know. So by the time that Dr. Mona said that we have trouble with the doctors, professors asking us, why can't we attend? What are you hiding from us? What are you teaching students? They're gonna come and rebel on us. So I prefer that if we're gonna do this, we do it equally, professors and students, and we can mix them together in the same time. Besides that, I had one comment, like every time we were saying, oh, you shouldn't commit that, oh, you shouldn't do that. I was like, what is the penalty? As Dr. Shinawi said, that we need to have a law for that. We need to have like, what's can happen if I get caught, right? Some of the challenges, like I specifically, personally went to the dean and other people to invite them there. I didn't get anybody in the opening or in the closing. But I really didn't care because it was most important to me that people show up. So the thing is, you're gonna acknowledge that, you have to acknowledge that. And I wanna have this accreditation, so the people that really put the effort to do something like extensive like workshop deserve to go in the promotion, like to be acknowledged in the promotion paperwork. So that some of the people was asking, can we come? We have like 2 or 3 couldn't come because they needed the accommodation. And it was like really hard because they contacted us in the last minute. So that was hard. For the announcement, if we can do something via NAS or via our college or university to announce that on a large scale so we can have more people coming in. For the attendee, they wanted to do a follow-up for us, a follow-up from NAS so they can have that challenge to apply for grants and the knowledge for, of course, to apply this on themselves. Last but not least, I really wanted to thank the people that was me in the teamwork because they really facilitated very well. I couldn't believe, like, you know, it seems like we know each other. We were really collaborative with each other. We didn't have any trouble from anything. And one of us, if he didn't even know the answer, the other one was catching up on him and asking him what he should do or what he should say. Thanks for everybody who's contributed to that. The NAS, that was the public library, I don't know how to say it. What is he? He's not here? Okay. Yusra, can you pronounce it please? Yes, the Library of Alexandria. And special thanks, of course, for our organizer committee. Thank you.